What's up, everybody? Welcome to Tsunami Speaks with your host, Tsunami Jones. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share if you can, all that good stuff. That's going to help us grow this channel going forward and through the rest of the season. And now that that's out of the way, wait, who was that with the come from behind victory against a team that was way better than us in the last 90 seconds of the game when damn near everyone gave up? I think it was who? The New York Jets? Yes, the New York Jets beat the Browns week 2, 31-30. The Browns, home stadium. We quieted them in their stadium. We went out there and we got touchdowns on Brownie the Elf, on Joe Thomas Day, all that good stuff. Wow. Jets, 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 Jets. Sorry guys, I had to do it. I am so freaking proud of this team. What a damn win. Our first win in September since 2018. Woo, glad we're off that terrible streak of foolishness and foolery. Finally done with that. So proud of this team yet again. I think it was Peyton Manning that took a shot at us randomly last Monday Night Football. How about that? How about that, Peyton? 307 passing yards. Yeah, the Jets had a passing game in which we didn't throw 59 times. Something about that, feels pretty good. Just gotta get that out of there. As for my prediction on the last video, I said we would win 21-17. A little off there. I thought it was going to be a low scoring game. Wasn't anything like that, but I will take the W. I was right about that. How about that? Most important part of the game. But again, it went far from how I expected it. I thought it was going to be a defensive slugfest in which we, were making turnovers on, we were creating turnovers against them and all that good stuff. And maybe they might have gotten one off of us. But anyway, it went way differently than that. Brown smacked us around today, or yesterday. But we made those plays when we needed to make those plays, and we fought all game long. And that's really what you ask from a young team, to just show that fight, show that will, show that we're not afraid of a team that some people were putting as a Super Bowl contender. We'll see what's going to happen with that with the Browns, but we do know that they were a great team. All right, so let's revisit what my keys to the win were from the prior video. One of the first keys that I had was that I needed the Jets to limit turnovers and drops. We did for the most part. We only had one turnover, and that was that Flacco fumble in which Jadeveon Clowney got to him and smacked him there and grabbed the ball. There was another technically there was another fumble as well, but we recovered that from Conklin. Way to go, Max Mitchell, on getting that recovered. And there were a couple of drops. So it wasn't the clean game that I was really hoping for. But again, we ended up making the plays when we needed to make them, and that's what really matters. One big key that I had was I said our special teams needed to step it up. Way to go, special teams. Okay. They did, and they stepped up big. There's so many things to talk about special teams wise in this game. First thing I got to go with is Greg Zuerlein. Wow. The kicker that everyone wrote off last week. I was a little concerned about it, but I thought that he still had more in him. He boomed a 57-yard kick. Don't think Eddie Pinheiro would have did that. And people were mad that he was gone from the team, but I'm telling you, Eddie P wasn't going to do a 57-yard kick in Cleveland. Just saying. Wow. What a what a way to show off that, you're not washed or anything like that. Man, he hit all his extra points yesterday. See, I just watched the game right before coming into this video, so I'm still pumped and I still feel like it's Sunday. Victory Monday though. How about that? Anyway, he stepped up, did a great job. You really can't ask much more from him. And another kudos, I have to give it up. Braden Mann. I wrote him off. I wanted us to use our different, use the Tai Long punter, the backup punter that we signed to our practice squad. I guess Mann's back felt good, Maybe just feeling that pressure of having someone on the practice squad and having to look over your shoulder. Maybe that did what it needed to do. Or maybe he really did hurt his back last week and he feels 100% now. Wow. Either way, wow. He had a oh man, he played so much better. He had I think he had 2 punts in which we stuck the Browns within their 20. That's a step up. We didn't see much of that before. He had 1 punt for 50 yards. For him, that's pretty impressive. Great job by him. And then, of course, again, so much happened with special teams in this game. There's so much to really talk about, but I have to give kudos to the special teams on the fake punt. That was well executed. It caught me completely by surprise. Braden Mann, again, you got to give him the credit there. Nice pass that he threw to Jeff Smith. That was a dime pass. Jeff Smith is a fairly good backup wide receiver for us. That was a nice catch on his part, just well executed. And kudos to Robert Saleh on taking that drive to do it. That was the second drive that we had. First drive we had, we went 3 and out. Second drive, I think Saleh saw, the writing on the wall. He's like, hey, we need to make a play here. We can't go 3 and out 2 drives in a row. Browns scored on their first drive. So I think Saleh knew that was the right opportunity. But again, kudos to the special teams on making that happen. And obviously, we all know how the end of the game went, so I have to give special teams another kudos with that onside kick. Mann did that. So again, another kudos to Braden Mann. Wow, I didn't think I would be saying great job to Braden Mann this many times, but I got to give him that. It's a good punt, or a good kick, rather. And then Will Parks, Philly Will Parks. I like the way he made that play on the ball. He kept it from going out of bounds, so he kind of kicked it back in. And then, of course, Justin Hardy, our special teams ace, got on top of the ball after that. Great job, special teams. Great job. Y'all deserve a game ball for that. But this was a big team effort. Next key that I had was that I said our offensive line needed to hold up. And I was a little worried about this one, considering what we were, the gauntlet of pass rushers. In other words, we all know, more so Myles Garrett that I was worried about. But I didn't even mention JOK. He's not a pass rusher, but he's someone to watch on that team. He's pretty good, and he played well in this game. But anyway, most importantly here, only 2 sacks on Flacco. Not bad. Not bad offensive line. And I got to give Flacco credit as well. He did a good job holding, keeping himself out of trouble. He ran for a first down on a 3rd down conversion early. That was very impressive. I shocked the hell out of me. I'm not going to lie to you guys there. So I wanted to give him credit there. He moved around more in the pocket. He didn't hold on to the ball as long, at least via the eye test, from what I could see. I'm going to shout out, more individual players a little bit later on in this video, but I got to give the credit to the entire line as a unit. That's George Fant, Max Mitchell, Laken Tomlinson, AVT, McGovern, to a lesser extent, because he gave me a few heart attacks towards the last part of the game, on the final drive that we had with those low snaps. Flacco was grabbing them, and so that's the key. But whew, a few of them, I was a little shaken shaken up just a tad. Anyway, but all in all, I'm so proud of this unit. So proud of this unit. Way to go, offensive line. Okay. One other key I said, hey, Mike LaFleur, we need some creativity from you. I thought that he could have done better calling the game last week. And so I wanted him to do a better job calling the game this week. I said I wanted to see some jet sweeps. I wanted to see some end arounds. I wanted to see some reverses. We got that in this game. Way to go, Mike LaFleur. Way to go. And of course, besides seeing those things, I mean, we got the ball in the hands of our playmakers. Your Garrett Wilsons, your Elijah Morris, your Braxton Berrios. I think Berrios had a few touches One was like a reverse, one was a jet sweep, something along those lines. So it was good seeing him involved. Just kudos to Mike LaFleur there. And then of course, we got to talk about it. He unleashed Garrett Wilson. I think he went on Instagram earlier on the week and said, "Just let me go, man." We let him go. It was beautiful, and we put him in positions to succeed. He was fantastic, and I'll touch more on him a little bit later here. Um, even though there were a few reverses that we had, I think the one with Elijah Moore got blown up pretty early. That's going to happen. Browns have a very good team defensively. I like their defense. So I think we did very well in spite of how good that defense was. And we took what the defense gave us and made plays. Again, kudos to you, Mike LaFleur. Thanks, sir. My last key that I had was the one key we didn't really execute. I wanted our defense to hold their rushing attack to 120 yards or less. We gave up 184. If you had told me that we were going to give up 184 yards going into this game, and you told me that Sunday morning, I would have told you we're going to lose the game. So I'm still shocked about it. Chubb, Hunt, and Brissett were a part of that, and yes, Brissett gashed us on the run too. He ran, he made some plays with his legs. There were a few that really, really made me upset. So defense, I need a little bit more from you. I think we had a few players that went out during the game, so I think that impacted it. Quinnen went out for a little bit, and I know JFM was hurt going into the game. Remember, he was questionable. He played, but I think that might have made some sort of impact there. I think you need 100% Quinnen to really help because he's like one of our biggest players on the defensive line who can, make those kind of plays. Someone else as well. I already mentioned JFM. So, just we needed more from them. I want to see more next week. But again, this is a win, so I'm not gonna bash the Jets today. I'm not. I'll just acknowledge the things that didn't go well, but nah. Victory Monday. How about that? Now, so the players to watch that I had kind of circled was Max Mitchell and Laken Tomlinson. I'm going to kind of put them together here since they're both offensive linemen. Laken Tomlinson, my guy, welcome back to the team. I didn't kick you off last week, but I was a little worried about you. I was a little concerned about you. Way to step it up. Only 2 pressures allowed on Joe Flacco. Thank you, sir. I knew you were better than that 8 pressures last week. Thank you. So he brought that calmness to the offensive line that we needed to see. Max Mitchell, I did notice him a little bit. He had 1 false start penalty early, and then he had 2 pressures allowed as well. Actually, I think that's right. Yes, he had 2 pressures allowed as well. But I got to give Max Mitchell credit on one thing here. When Conklin fumbled and my heart left my body and was, on the ground laying around, Max Mitchell was Johnny on the spot and got on the football. Hey, y'all know how important that is, recover a fumble like that. I'm sure everybody else's hearts collectively, as Jets fans, were on the floor as well. So way to go, Max Mitchell, on making that happen. And considering who Max Mitchell and Laken Tomlinson were going against, yo, not bad. Not bad. Myles Garrett did not kill us like we expected or like I expected. I thought he was going to hurt us. I'm not saying that. I mean, I thought we were going to win, but I just thought that he was going to that he might get 3, 4, or 5 sacks. I just wasn't sure. But way to go, offensive line. Way to go, Max Mitchell. Way to go, Laken Tomlinson. Got to give you guys the credit there. AVT graded pretty well. I think he was our highest graded offensive lineman again. So, as always, steady Eddie over there. Gotta love my guy, AVT, unsung hero of the offensive line. Only the real Jets fans know about my guy. Let's go, AVT. And of course, I mentioned him in the last video. I said players to watch. I said Garrett Wilson. Breaking news, everybody. Garrett Wilson is him, and he's here. The Jets got their wide receiver. Okay? Elijah Moore is a beast too, but Garrett Wilson, woo, week 2, he said, "Let me go." He went all right. 8 catches, 102 yards, 2 touchdowns, 14 targets on 43 snaps. And I'm sure everyone else remembers that was watching the game. Garrett Wilson got hit on a pass while he was pretty high in the air, got smacked out of there, had a rough fall. So he missed some snaps because of that. So thankful he came back in there because the offense was different when he wasn't out there. You could just tell, like the defense was on their heels trying to account for Garrett Wilson, especially with them not having Greedy Williams in there, which I did not realize prior to that he was on IR going into the season. They just didn't have anybody to cover him. And I'm going to say a lot of teams aren't going to be able to cover him going forward. He's still a rookie. He's going to have those mistakes. He had that drop in the fourth that broke my heart and left my body again. My heart was in and out of my body the entire game. I'm sure everyone else too. But that one hurt. But you know what? He made up for it the next time he caught the damn ball. I'll tell you that. Let's go, Garrett Wilson. I can't. I am not even. I can't. I am so excited for the future to see what he's going to continue to do alongside Elijah Moore. We have a nice young wide receiving core right now. Not bad. Braxton Berrios as well. He's still relatively young. Denzel Mims. He didn't play. I know. He was inactive. But I still believe in that kid. I think he can do some things. We'll see what ends up with our offensive, our wide receiving core going forward. However, it's certainly excited right now. Wow. It just looked like every time you saw Garrett Wilson, he was getting separation. His first touchdown with that move that he made on that, I don't remember the DB's name. I'm sorry, guys, but he made that little hezzy move and then went to the right. He got separation so fast. And for your first touchdown, and then you saw how fired up my guy was in the crowd when he did the Ohio State thing. Watch out. Watch out, Garrett Wilson. Watch out, NFL. How about that? Look out for my guy. Anyway, what a pleasure it's going to be watching him and Elijah Moore going forward. My last player to watch for the Jets was Conklin. All right. Woo. All right. Tyler Conklin, my guy. He has 6 catches for 40 yards on 9 targets. Fumble that was recovered, and a big drop, I'll admit, in the fourth quarter. So not his best game. I don't want to call it a bad game because he did make some key catches in the fourth quarter when we needed him to, even with that drop and that fumble. I know you're better than that, Tyler Conklin. I'm not mad at you. But I know you're better than that. I think he just wants to make plays so badly. He's thinking it too much. He wants to catch the ball and go, I don't know, 20, 30 yards. And so the concentration is not there. He's thinking pass play or whatever. And he missed a block on Myles Garrett that made me pull out my hair. So a little concerned about it. But I still think he's better than Tyler Croft and Ryan Griffin. Okay, we're still in a much better situation, tight end wise, than we were last year. It's still a breath of fresh air. It didn't look like CJ Uzama was out there, so I'm pretty sure he was out. I did see Ruckert on there, and he had a few snaps. I did see that on PFF this morning. So he did a pretty good job blocking wise. There was a drop that he had, but it wasn't the best throw from Flacco, admittedly. So I gotta, mention that as well. But I'm glad Rucker got his feet wet. It's our rookie. I think Kenny Yeboah was out there and he was doing some blocking too. So Conklin was doing some blocking. So I think it was just more of like that's probably why, even though Conklin did get 9 targets, so that's still pretty good, healthy amount. I think that we might have gone to him in more successful situations. We had CJ out there. I'm not making excuses for our guy. I need our guy to do better, but I know he will be. I am not worried about him yet. Not all the way. All right, so as far as the Browns go, it's Myles Garrett, their phenom, their superstar, their defensive playmaker. that guy there, he had 1 sack and 2 QB hits. Not the career night that I was expecting and forecasting low key. Uh, as I mentioned earlier, our offensive line and tight ends did a great job of blocking him. I saw really high pass grades for like your Jeremy Ruckerts and your Kenny Yaboas. So they did a good job like coming in there and helping out with that. Conklin blocked fairly well as well against him. So I just think we did a really good job of just having a game plan for him. And Salah mentioned this in his post game because he's very impressed with him. He said prior to the game that that God did something, magical and all that when when Garrett was created and all that stuff. That said, what he said after the game, he said they did a very good job of trying to wear him down. So we were chipping him a lot and doing all the things that, that you have to do when you have an elite pass rusher against you. So I guess we just tired him out. Um, Shocking to me, I'm not gonna lie, because I mean, I'm sure other teams do that, but I guess our game plan of taking care of him was really good from the offensive line side of it. So major kudos to our boys for that. And also, he just proved that he's human. Um, he, these players are human, realistically speaking, but we always think Miles Garrett and players like him, your TJ Watts, players like them, that they're superhuman and otherworldly. And he just proved to be a human on Sunday. And for that, I am appreciative. Again, great job, Jets, of game planning on how you wanted to take him out of the game. Wonderful. Yay. Okay. Now with Hunt and Chubb, those were two more players that I spotlighted that the Jets needed to key in on and that we should watch. Those guys had a great game. No doubts about it here. They had 135 yards on 30 carries, which amounts to 4.5 yards per carry. 42 yards receiving as well on 5 catches. I'm not going to lie. I came away very impressed with them. I already knew Chubb was good. Anyone that even plays fantasy football, gambles, whatever have you, we all know Chubb is good. But watching him from play to play, we just didn't really have an answer for the guy. Chubb helped us out. Thank you, Chubb. Appreciate you, sir, by going ahead and just scoring that touchdown the way you did. You had an opportunity to help your team out, but you know what? The Jets said, "Thank you, I'll take that. And we'll take that W." That said, though, from a Jets perspective, we are going to do better. We have to do better covering screens. I thought this was something that we were kind of out of the woods on. It was a big problem last year. But those screens got to us again. Not sure who to really blame is on this. I think it's just something as a defense that we need to work on. Ulbrich, I'm looking at you. I'd say C plus, C minus game plan defensively, but the boys did step it up in the fourth quarter. After, before that touchdown, we did have a really good drive by them. That's when we got the sack from Lawson. Way to go, Carl Lawson. That's the first sack as a Jet that he's had coming off that injury season last year when he tore his ACL or Achilles, whichever one it was. So that was a nice play. I think Quan Alexander had one of those hellified tackles that I love to see. Just hitting them, man. I love it. The way he plays football defensively. Anyway, that said, though, we needed more from them. I'm sure they have a lot of film to go through and correct. Again, they need to key in on those screens. Hunt was eating us up in there. Anyway, essentially that is why they were in the lead for so much of the game, just because of those two. Last player I wanted to spotlight on the Browns going into this game was David Njoku. I was worried just based off of last year, the way we used to cover the tight end. We did a great job covering Mark Andrews this week, but I figured they were going to have sauce on Amari Cooper and Donovan Peoples-Jones, or whichever way they were going to do that, especially with DJ Reed and all that good stuff. Well, with that said, Njoku, I'm sorry, had 32 yards on 3 catches, 5 targets. They didn't really key in on him. They also went to the other tight end that they have. I think his last name is Bryant, Harrison Bryant. They keyed in on, no, they didn't key in on him, but they used him more in the passing game. We did a solid job containing him. They went. I know that there was a touchdown that they thought they almost had throwing to him, and we did a good job defensively on that. Um, and they opted to use Amari Cooper more. Um, so more to see and come on that. I didn't get a great feel of who was on Amari Cooper. There were times Sauce was on him. There were times DJ Reed was on him. So I guess, with us running like a zone defense and all that, I guess, left field, right field. So I might have to watch the game one more time to pay more attention to what the defense was doing to kind of key in on that. Um, one shout out I want to give that is kind of unrelated to, me spotlighting Browns players because it's a Jets show. So I'm going to talk about who I want to talk about. I want to talk about Brandon Eccles. Sauce Gardner had a little bit of an injury, scared us all. Tell you, when he was out, and he went out when they were in when they were in they were in our end zone, in the red zone, so to speak here, and I was scared. I'm like, no Sauce. I mean, CJ Reed is the only proven good corner on the team. Brandon Eccles. Brandon Eccles. Great job, sir. Stepping up. That pass breakup he had, it was beautiful. He did a fantastic job, and we ended up holding them to a kick at that time. With the way the momentum was kind of going, I was a little worried there. He did a great job. Way to step up and way to show that being benched, so to speak, for Sauce and DJ Reed after playing alongside Hall as opposite corner last year. People lose their jobs and sometimes they don't come in ready. He stayed ready and he made the most of his moment. He had a really good grade on PFF. I think it was like a 90 or something really insane because of how well he made that play and all that. He didn't get a ton of snaps, but anyway, shout outs to you, sir, Mr. Eccles. And one other shout out I want to give out before I give out who I would choose for game ball. Shout out to Ashton Davis. A lot of the fan base has given up on him. I wasn't far away from it. I was a Pinnock fan. When they cut Pinnock and kept Davis, I was confused, but I shrugged my shoulders and said, all right, this is what the Jets are going to do. They see him every day. They see Pinnock every day. They see all the team every day. They know what they can do and what they can't do. They know the versatility of these players, even though I thought Pinnock was more versatile because he was a corner that was changed to safety, so he could play corner in a pinch. So that blew me. However, Ashton Davis, hell of a job, sir. Hell of a job. I love that interception you got to quell the game, to win the game, going down immediately, kneeling on it. Great job. Great awareness. Some people would say he threw it right to him. I think he did a good job of reading the route too. Great job, Ashton. Not everybody has those ball skills either. He had a few picks last year that I recall, specifically against like the Dolphins. I think, or maybe one pick against the Dolphins, but and Eccles got the other one in that game. But either way, good job, sir. Another player who got cut, not cut, but got demoted to a bench role defensively and stayed ready. He saw his moment. They gave him the snaps, and he made a hell of a play. Great job, dude. I hope maybe we give him more snaps as the season progresses. We'll see how he takes those running lanes when it comes to running backs going at him. I mean, that's basically what's been his pitfall there, is that running backs are able to fool him, and he takes just bad angles at tackling when it comes to that. But the ball skills are there, so we'll see. Maybe we can continue to develop Ashton Davis into something. Either way, though, he's a good special teams player, and the way our special teams played today, again yesterday, keep doing that. But the way that they played, I'm pleased. I'm pleased. So we'll see. All right. Big deal here, or my last thing I want to highlight is who I would give my game ball to if I were. And for me, this was very tough. I thought about this for a while last night, thought about it again this morning. I'm giving it to Joe Flacco. even though Garrett Wilson was fantastic. And I don't think we win without him either. Both balled out, but I'm going Flacco because he was Joe Cool yesterday. He showed grit. He showed moxie. He doubled his yards per attempt, or almost doubled his yards per attempt from last week from 4.85 to 8.64. Not bad, sir. Oh my God, for a 37-year-old, we saw him moving a little bit. Like I mentioned earlier, he rolled out, and got a first down and used his legs for a 37-year-old quarterback. Okay, come on, guys. Like a lot of us going into the game were worried that Flacco was going to be immobile and we'll have a repeat of last week and he was going to be a statue and all that stuff. And those were valid concerns as a fan base. Definitely valid. I was concerned as well. But he did a great job. And also to be in that situation where we were down 2 touchdowns, I think it was 30-17. I think that was the score at the time. And to pay attention to, not just pay attention, but keep his head in the game ultimately, and make that beautiful dime pass to Corey Davis. Now, Corey Davis was butt naked, wide open, so not the most difficult pass, but I thought it was well timed. All of that went on that play. We get the touchdown. We already know about the onside kick. I already highlighted it earlier, and then we get the ball again. He had to march right down the field with no timeouts. No timeouts. And he made it look like it was child's play. Even with Conklin's drop on in that drive as well, because I remember that happening. He just showed that veteran grit. He showed that moxie that I've been there before, and not only have I been there before, I've beaten the Browns many times. He mentioned it prior to the game. I thought I liked his swagger mentioning it. I believe it was Friday or Thursday when they interviewed him, and he says, "Look, I've beaten them before. I don't think anyone has beaten the Browns as much as me. That's in the NFL." Hey, Joe, and Joe came in there and smacked him in the mouth. No one was expecting all of that from him. Again, he wasn't flawless in the game. That fumble he had from Clowney, ooh, I was a little salty on him at that time because Clowney didn't sneak up on him. I felt like he should have seen him and either taken the sack, and gotten ready for that, or thrown the ball away. He was trying to throw the ball away and it got hit. It is what it is. But he made many more plays after that. And that's something that's important with quarterback, play. If they have a turnover, to not get down on themselves and not stay aggressive. They have to. They have to have that short memory. So great job there. He finished the game with 307 yards passing, 4 touchdowns on 26 of 44 passes. Thank you, LaFleur, for not having him do 50 passes or more like last week. Appreciate you, bro. 59% on his passes. Not bad, old man. Not bad. Thank you, Joe. Joe Cool yesterday and for the rest of this week. Gotta give the guy his props. Game ball. And did you guys see the video in which he came in the locker room after that game? My guy was hyped. He was pumped. That graybeard, man. Oh man, the whole team was behind him. They were all excited. He was jumping up and down. I was jumping up and down. Let's go. All right. That was awesome. What a game. It's gonna be worth rewatching probably a couple more times for me, to be quite honest with you, because there's so much to really unpack with that. And I want to learn a little bit more about how our defense played. So definitely looking at that. Some quick odds and ends before I end this video. So Jets, Dolphins, and the Patriots all won yesterday. So we've got to keep winning to keep up with them and not get behind in this division. Dolphins are 2-0, Patriots are 1-1, and the Bills are 1-0 at this moment until they play the Titans tonight. Go Titans, go. For sure. Might have a little, small sum on that. We'll see. I want to look at it a little bit more later. Another quick note. All 3 of our first round rookies had scary moments in this game. And what I mean is they all came out of the game with injuries. Sauce came out. I mentioned it earlier. Garrett Wilson came out. And Jermaine Johnson came out of the game. They all returned. It was beautiful. They all returned and were there in the plays to come after. So beautiful to see. I'm glad they're okay. I know that Salah said in his press conference last night that they were going to do some more, digging on on the status of their injuries and all that good stuff with the doctors and have them do those tests that they need to do. But I'm glad that they were able to bounce back from those injuries. Really beautiful to see. As a Jets fan, you guys know we've seen a lot of injuries. So anytime someone goes down, it's that here we go again sensation that we get. And to me, it's justified as a fan because we've seen it happen so much. But wow, look at that. All three of them got hurt and came back in. Beautiful. Uh, Another note, Bengals lost on Sunday. That makes it an 0-2 coming into MetLife this coming Sunday. So we do know they're going to be hungry because they're going to be feeling embarrassed losing to Dallas, considering they lost to another backup. You think about it, Mike White last year, Cooper Rush this year. So I think they're definitely going to give us their best punch for sure. Plus, they probably still feel, embarrassed from just having lost to Mike White and they're going back to the Jets. So they probably see it all as the same. So we're going to get their best punch. Now, I think the Jets have a good chin and we can handle it. Well, we'll see. That's next week. Right now, again, Victory Monday. I just wanted to bring the note up. That's who's next up. My final note, I have to say this for all my New York sports fans. Wow. What a Sunday. Yankees won. Mets won. Giants won. Jets won. Wow. How many times can we say that's happened in the last few years? It's beautiful to see. And we as fan bases, we as New Yorkers, we deserve this crap, man. We deserve this. We deserve a victory Sunday into a victory Monday where we can all just be happy. I know we don't all support the same teams, but hey, it's a beautiful thing when New York is winning. Just saying. We deserve it. Let's go. And last stop here, I'm gonna have to talk about. I really don't want to talk about it because it was a rough Sunday for me as far as my gambling goes. One thing I can say is the Jets covered. I hit on that. Just as I expected it, where I thought that the Jets I just thought that line was way too high, and I thought the Jets really needed this win. I knew that we would game plan well for it. The only part that I was wrong about is the under, so I got that part wrong. The under as in total points scored, so missed that one. Nice W though, of course. That said, Patriots won outright, so I hit on that just as I expected. Neither offense really looked too great. Steelers looked pretty bad offensively. We already knew they had a bad offensive line. We heard of about that. We saw it in the preseason. We heard about that in camp. If you guys have been paying attention to their camp notes and follow their beat writers, if I had to make a prediction, I think they're going to go to Trubisky week 4. Especially if they lose again this week. They play the Browns. So I'm not sure if they play at home or if they play at the Browns, but I don't think it matters. I think the Steelers are going to see that as a must win. If they get an L there, they're definitely, in my opinion, going to Kenny Pickett. If they go to Kenny Pickett, that'll make for an interesting week 4. I hope the Jets are prepared for that because he's not the same player as Trubisky. They're very different quarterbacks, in my opinion. So I just want us to be prepared for that. No surprises. I don't want us to be we prepared for Jalen Hurts situation like we did when we played Philly, and then they ended up playing. Of course, I can't think of the kid that used to be on Jacksonville. We played their backup quarterback, and he lit us up. He lit us up. So I don't want that to happen again. So I hope we prepare for it. I did take an L on the Panthers covering. So Giants fans, rip me to shreds if you want. Good win for you guys. I just didn't see it happening. They proved me wrong. They grinded it out, got it out that W. Luvu played really well for Panthers from what I could see, at least numbers wise, box score wise. Again, I didn't really watch much of the game, but um, Panthers Panthers played well on defense. They did a good job trying to contain Saquon Barkley, but they just couldn't get it going on offense. That Giants defense with no Tibbs, I think, for another week. And yet they balled out. Credit to the Giants. Even without like fantastic numbers from Daniel Jones. Like he took what the defense was giving him. I saw early on in the game he was nickeling and diming, not getting a bunch of yards on those passes, but he was accurate. At least in the first half. I can't speak to the second half of that. All right. So those are your kudos, Giants fans. Great job on y'all's part and hurting my wallet. So, but kudos to y'all. All right. So, side note for me, because I did bet the Bengals, I parlayed a lot of my bets with the Bengals. Even with like the Patriots one, I had one on the Texans. I didn't bring that up as one of my potential parlays or my wagers that I made. I hit on that, but I tried to parlay a few things, and that just killed me. So lessons learned for me. It's not try and parlay everything. Sometimes you just got to take the win when you feel good about those teams, and just take the little money instead of the big monies. All right, guys, on to Cincinnati. Let's go Jets. So that's going to be it for me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share if you can, so we can grow this channel. Thanks again for watching. And a small update for you guys. I am going to be working on a Knicks video this week. It just depends on my work and how I'm going to go through all of that. So probably going to be a Knicks video, and of course my Jets preview for the Bengals on the same day. So I'll probably pump out 2 of them on Saturday or Friday. I think I'll go along those lines there for you guys. And so be on the lookout for it. Thanks so much, Knicks fans, for being patient and still watching my Jets videos, even if you're Giants fans or Bills fans. I don't know. Um, or just depressed Jets fans that don't really want to watch. I understand. But thank you for sitting through my videos. Knicks stuff's coming soon. Really excited to pump that out. And I'll keep you guys posted. Like I said, I think Friday or Saturday, I'll put those both out. But most importantly, guys, let's go Jets. What a week. Enjoy it, Jets fans. Enjoy it. Jets, 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 Jets. What a weekend. All right. Have a good one, guys.